students, welcome back. Today we will be covering the last portion of our chapter, which is called components of food. So first we will have a look at what exactly we are going to cover in this particular chapter. This is the last portion. We have finished till water. We will start from the portion after water. Let's start. Roughage. So the first thing we will discuss in this particular video is roughage. What is roughage? The fibrous indigestible material present in any food, that is called roughage. So the fibrous indigestible material which is present in the food, that is the portion, the food that is not digested by your digestive system, that is called the roughage. Why is roughage important? Let us look at the functions. It does not give any energy but is an essential component of our food and adds to its bulk. So roughage is not essentially giving any sort of energy like carbohydrates, proteins or fats, but it is essential to your body as it is adding to the bulk. It retains water in the body. So apart from adding to bulk, roughage also can retain water into your body. It doesn't allow the removal of unwanted water from your body. Roughage helps our body get rid of undigested food and helps to prevent constipation. So roughage also helps in remove the undigested food material and therefore prevents you from having constipation. Roughage is also hence called the dietary fiber. They consist of indigestible plant carbohydrates called cellulose present in plants. Roughage also comprises of plant carbohydrate called cellulose. So the indigestible plant carbohydrate roughage mainly comprises of is cellulose, which is seen in plants. Now let us have a look at a balanced diet. What is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is a diet that contains different kinds of foods in certain quantities and proportions so that the requirement for carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins, roughage and water is met. So the diet that contains all the important nutrients in required quantities and proportions is called a balanced diet. Why is a balanced diet important? Because it provides energy, it repairs damaged cells and makes all the required substances available to your body for growth, like we have studied in the previous chapter. It provides energy, repairs the damaged cells and also makes all the required substances to your body for growth. Let us have a look at what a typical balanced diet contains. It contains carbohydrates, the chief element, which is 60% of your diet, proteins 25%, fats 15%, vitamins, minerals and roughage in adequate proportion and water also in sufficient amount. That is a typical balanced diet. Absence of balanced diet leads to nutritional deficiencies, which we will learn in a very short while. So, a person who doesn't consume all of these required nutrients in the required amount can suffer from nutritional deficiencies. Now, a short note about a midday meal program. I'm sure some of you might have heard about the midday meal program. What is the midday meal program? It is a program which is put forward by the government in government schools where children from class 1 to 8 are provided a midday meal for free. Why is it done? To improve the nutritional status in the children so that all the children receive the required foods and to encourage children from attending school. To attend the school, the children are also given the midday meal. Now let us have a look at the skills of handling, cooking and eating food items. It is very important to eat the right kind of food, but it is also important to cook the food properly so that the nutrients are not lost. And some of the following measures are there which we should follow while we cook food. Cooking improves the taste of food, but overcooking destroys the nutrients. So the carbohydrates, fats and proteins which are present in the food, they can be destroyed by overcooking the food material. So cooking should be done, but overcooking should be prevented. Many proteins and considerable amount of minerals are lost due to excess water used during cooking. So what do we have to do? We have to keep a limitation as to the amount of water used. Vitamin C gets destroyed by heat during cooking. Therefore, our diet must contain raw or fresh fruits and half-cooked vegetables. So vitamin C, if it is heated, it is destroyed. That is why we consume raw or fresh fruits or half-cooked vegetables. Vegetables and fruits should be washed thoroughly because they have chemicals and pesticides on them. That is why you must have seen that after the vegetables are brought to your home, the vegetables and fruits are washed properly. Why are they done so? So that to remove the chemicals and the pesticides on them, because these pesticides are toxic to your body. They are poisonous to your body. That is why washing is done to remove them. Washing is also done after cutting or peeling, and that might also result in loss of some vitamins. So it should also be controlled. Repeated washing of rice and pulses should be avoided as it may remove some vitamins and minerals present in them. You might have seen that rice and pulses are usually washed before they are cooked. Why? In order to remove the pesticides and the chemicals on them. But overwashing should be avoided because it might also remove some vitamins and minerals. Care must be given so that the food items are covered, so that the insects, animals and other contaminations do not sit on them. You might have seen that houseflies and other insects have the habit of coming and sitting on the fruits and the vegetables. They are the carriers of various diseases. So that is why we have to keep the food covered in order to prevent such contaminations. Food should be stored and served in clean utensils. So the utensils that we are using should also be clean. Deep fried and roasted foods lose their nutritive value. They should be avoided. So all the burgers and french fries that you have are all deep fried foods. They should be avoided. Oily and spicy foods are tasty, but they are very harmful. They lead to obesity. Therefore, such food items should be not taken as a regular food. Once in a while, having spicy food is fine, but it is always advisable to stick to the food cooked at home because they do not have all the oil and the spice that is harmful to your body. Otherwise, it may result in obesity. Look into the picture. This is a picture of an obese child. Such activities should be avoided. Now we will have a look at the deficiency diseases. Let us look at the first block. Deficiency of carbohydrates causes weakness and loss of stamina. Since carbohydrates comprise of 60% of your diet, they are very, very important. And deficiency may cause weakness and loss of stamina in your body. Deficiency of fats cause weakness and loss of stamina. Deficiency of fats might also cause weakness in your body and loss of stamina. Deficiency of proteins causes kwashiorkor and marasmus. The person becomes lean and thin in both cases. Look into the spellings of kwashiorkor and marasmus. Very important. Deficiency of minerals cause anemia, which is low hemoglobin level in the body. Fatigue, which means laziness, loss of appetite, the person doesn't feel hungry, loss of stamina. Deficiency of iodine causes goiter. Goiter is the swelling of the thyroid gland. The neck portion swells. And loss or deficiency of calcium causes tooth decay. We might also be aware of the fact that our tooth is made up of calcium. So loss of calcium might also cause tooth decay. Let us have a look at some vitamin deficiency diseases. This is very, very important slide. Vitamin A causes night blindness. What are the symptoms? As the name suggests, the person is unable to see in dim light or at night. Vitamin B1 causes beriberi. It causes swelling and pain in legs, dizziness, palpitation, loss of appetite. Vitamin C causes scurvy, swelling and bleeding of gums, poor resistance to cold. Vitamin D causes rickets, twisted and bent bones. So the bones get bent like here. Vitamin K deficiency causes hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is clotting, excess bleeding from an injury and slow clotting of blood. So a person who is suffering from hemorrhage will show slow clotting of blood. This is a summary of the entire chapter. What have we learned? We have learned about the various types of food. energy giving foods, which are carbohydrates and fats, bodybuilding foods, which are proteins, and protective foods, which are minerals and vitamins. So carbohydrates and fats, they provide us with energy. Proteins, they help us in building our body, tissues and cells. And minerals and vitamins, they do not give energy, but they give protection against various diseases. I believe the chapter is clear till now. If there are any questions from your end, do not hesitate to write down in the comment section. I will surely reply back. Till then, read the chapter properly, and if there are any questions, you can write it down in the comment section. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.